Tanse everyone. Oki, bonjour, hello. Lovely to see, well, virtually share with everybody today. I am running a little bit behind, which seems to be the theme. So I think from this point on, I'm just going to trust what the universe keeps doing and actually start my streams a little bit later, probably every day around, or not every day. Oh my gosh, that would be insane. You know how busy I am already? That would be insane. Probably start my streams at around 7:30 from now on, so they would go from 7:30 to 8. Today I'm a little under the weather, so I'm not sure how long I'll last, but I'm going to try. Just the time change just messes with everybody. There's something about it. But I'm just really thankful and humbled to be here, and I'm thankful to be able to share in a good way. And definitely I'm going to smudge today because it's really, really important. Just with, because it kills germs, it kills bacteria, it kills like viruses and fungus. So it's really important to do that on a regular basis. And so there's something weird with my stream channel today, and for some reason I can't see any chats. So I'm sending love to anyone who says hello or hi. And so I really appreciate everyone kind of tuning in. And before we get started, I just wanted to acknowledge where I'm coming from. I am in Mulkinstis, which is in Treaty 7 territory, which is Blackfoot territory, the Blackfoot Confederacy. And I'm just really humbled and thankful and grateful to live here, especially during Chinook. So we had a beautiful Chinook today, which is a nice change from last week, and it was like consistently almost minus 20, and now it's, today was 0. And I'm like, yeah, I love the slushy mitts. It's a good time. But Mohkinstsis has just been my home for over half my life, and it's just there's something really special here, and I'm just always really thankful every day when I drive by the river, or when I see the sunrise or when I see the sunset. Just the beauty here is incredible, and I think every city has or every area, really every confluence has a specific vibe, if you want to call it that. It has an energy, and I feel like the energy here is for me. Whereas when I lived in Edmonton, did not feel the energy there was for me. And so I'm just really thankful to be here. And so I acknowledge the Blackfoot, or the Nitsitapi, or Nitsitapi, depending on where you're from, of Siksika, Gaina, and Pagani. I also acknowledge the Sarsi Dene, the Beaver people of Tsutsina, and the Stony Nakota of Morley, which includes Chiniki, Bears Paw, and now they've changed their name from Wesley, and they are now Big Stony First Nation. And I'm really, really thankful to live also in the home of the Métis of Region 3, and to welcome everyone in a good way today. I'm going to share the Cree welcome song. Again, I'm not feeling 100%, so I might be a little congested as I sing it, but I'm going to try. So normally when we sing songs, we sing in rounds of 4. It's honor the 4 directions of the medicine wheel, but this song we sing in 3 to keep the circle open and welcoming, so everyone completes the circle today. Because in a circle, we're all connected. There's no beginning, there's no end. No one is greater or less than anyone else in the circle, just like in the hoop of life. So it teaches us to honor each other for those differences. Because if we were all exactly the same, the world would be super boring and nothing would ever get done. So we need those differences to help our community thrive, and to really appreciate, not only your own uniqueness, but the uniqueness in others. I think is really invaluable. It really is humbling, and I think it's really important to run in line with the 7 teachings. And so this song is from the Natahau family. I always acknowledge that family, and I'm so thankful for this song because it's really led me on my path. I feel whenever I sing it, I'm bringing in my ancestors to start me in a good way, and I always feel incomplete if I start an event without it. And so Mia Sin, which is the Cree welcome song, is it doesn't just mean welcome, although it does welcome in our ancestors like I just mentioned, but it also means beautiful. Moving that out of the way. Mia Sin, Mia Sen, Ha Semina, Ha Semina, Epe Takote, Niwagomagan, Ota, Oma, Kitaskino, Mi miyasen, miyasen, hasemina, hasemina, epetakote, wagomagan, hota, oma, kitaskino, miyasen, miyasen, hasemina, hasemina, epetakote, niwagomagan, hota, homa, kitaskino. Hi, and welcome to the circle today, everybody. So I am going to start with a smudge today, just because I definitely need it. I need that healing, I need that cleansing. And I'm going to talk very briefly about the medicines that I have laid out here. And so the first medicine that I'm going to start in the East, and just to acknowledge that these are my teachings. They might be different than your teachings or than other elders or knowledge keepers, but it's important to learn from many different people, because you never know what's going to resonate with you, what's going to make sense for you. And this is why I always encourage and connect people with other elders and knowledge keepers in the community. And so even my mom and I, we have slightly different medicinal teachings, and that's okay. We have different stories around our medicines, and that's all right, because that's just the way that we know our stories aren't weird. We know our medicines. And so, that being said, yeah, the more you know. So this is sweetgrass. Sweetgrass is, oh, I wish I could smell better. My nose is so stuffed up. Sweetgrass is the sweetest medicine, the children's medicine, the men's medicine. It's in the East, and that acknowledges fire. It acknowledges new beginnings, the springtime, the day. And our mind, because in our childhood, that's when we learn the most. But we always lay it out, even if we're not burning it, to just acknowledge that balance of masculine and feminine, and acknowledge of our youth as well, like our childhood as well as our adulthood, and our mind and our heart. So we have all of those medicines balanced. And then we go to the west, or sorry, the south. And in the south, we have cedar, beautiful, beautiful cedar. Cedar is that connection to the physical earth, our connection to our physical body. It is very, very healing. I'm going to have some cedar tea after this because I definitely need it. It's antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, and has an antihistamine in it. Yeah, so, and it's a decongestant as well, so I'm definitely going to need some after this. And so that's my next stop. But it teaches us to really acknowledge our own physical body, the relationship that we have with our physical being, and the relationship that we have with the earth. That's really, really important. And it's grounding. This is why it's in the south. It's grounding. Then we go to the west, and in the west we have sage. I've got a bunch of sage here, which I'm really excited about. And so sage, oh, that one's all in pieces. I'll show this one. Whee! If I can actually pull it out. Oh, my sage is tangled. So this is white sage, or not so white. This is buffalo sage, sometimes called buffalo grass, sometimes called prairie sage. But this grows rampant in the prairies. It's called buffalo sage because it grows wherever the buffalo roam, and I'm really excited to be able to smudge with it. It smells so good here when I smudge with it, whereas when I lived in Arizona, it didn't smell the same. It smelled different. It smelled off. And when I asked an elder about it, he said it's because the medicines that grow in abundance are the ones that are made for smudging, depending on what area you're in. So down there, white sage grows in abundance. Well, at least it used to. It's starting to get harder and harder to find because of overharvesting. But because it grew in abundance down there, of course that's what I smelled. And it smelled good down there. Up here, whenever I burn white sage, it smells off. It smells weird. And that's because it doesn't grow in abundance up here. And so we use them for other things. So we would use white sage for medicine or for ointment. It's really good on the skin. It's good for like fungal infections, which is really interesting. But here, buffalo sage, it's really good for arthritis, but this is what we use for smudging. well, this is what I use for smudging, and those are just my teachings. Oftentimes, Blackfoot elders they really love to use sweetgrass. I'm trying to get a piece that's not attached to everything else. There we go. Perfect. Whoop. And I'm making a mess. This is what I do. Perfect. So sweetgrass, or sorry, not sweetgrass. Sage is the women's medicine. It's connected to water. It's connected to Grandmother Moon, Grandfather Sun in the east, Grandmother Moon in the west. It's connected to our heart medicine because our emotions are liquid. And it's just really about healing and bringing in that healing, bringing in that cleansing, washing things away. It's also about bringing community together. So there's that. And then the last medicine that we have in the north is about connecting to spirit. It's about connecting to our ancestors, and that is tobacco. And so tobacco, so many people have been asking me, like, protocol, like, why do we use tobacco as protocol? It's because tobacco is a symbolic medicine. It's a spirit medicine. So we're not supposed to take it into our bodies because it makes us sick. And so when we gift it to someone, it's saying thank you from our spirit to their spirit. We don't consume it, but we use it to pass it on or to give to the earth because it nurtures the earth and it reminds us of the relationship that we have with people and with spirit. And so, yeah, that's tobacco. And so I'm always very thankful when I get gifted tobacco, which has been quite regular. So I'm going to smudge all 4 directions. We're in the smudge bowl. I'm doing a medicine wheel workshop coming up second last weekend of the month, second last Sunday of the month, 26th, I believe. Hold on, let me pull up my calendar. Boom. Yes, the 26th, which is the Sunday. And so I'll go really in depth with those medicines, and we get to make medicine bags. So that's a pretty fun thing. I use 4 different animals, the deer, the elk, the moose, and the buffalo, one for each direction of the medicine wheel, and I have stories behind each of those directions. But yeah, if you want to learn more, it's going to be at Arts Commons, and just check my website and it will be there, or Facebook if you're following me on Facebook. Oop. So all 4 directions are in the smudge bowl. The earth is the medicine, the fire is this, the shell represents water, and then the smoke represents the air. And so I'm just going to fan it with my hand. I would never blow on it because our breath is our life and our life is precious and we don't waste that for anybody. And I'm going to slide that forward so I can smudge on camera. There we go. So the first thing I like to do is clean my hands, so anything that I'm carrying I get rid of. I bring it over my body 4 times to honor the 4 directions of my body. I'm going to honor a 5th for the star people. I'm going to smudge my mind so I can think clearly and learn from every person that crosses my path, so I can be open-minded and never rigid with my thinking. But also, one of my elders, Elder Shirley, she's like, so I think good thoughts. So like, that's a good thing. So you think good thoughts. I smudge my ears so I can hear all of the wonderful messages that come to me, so I can hear people fully and completely when they speak to me, to give thanks for my hearing, but also to remind myself to listen twice as much as I speak. This is why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. I smudge my eyes so I can see all of the beauty that surrounds me, so I can see clearly and see the true nature of people and purpose of people in front of me. So I can see all of those beautiful things, including those hidden things, and to give thanks for my vision, including the vision of seeing the unseen, I think is really important. Oh, I can definitely see that. I got a sliver from the match. That's a first. But I don't think live stream. That sucks. And I smudge my nose so I can smell nature and danger and cookies, and so that my nose isn't quite as congested as it is. I smudge my mouth so I speak good, kind words that are helpful and are truthful and respectful, are in lines with the 7 teachings. I think the 7 teachings are so incredibly important. I smudge my throat because I'm very thankful for my voice this lifetime, so I can continue to give voice to the voiceless. I smudge my lungs so I breathe good, clean air and honor the sacred breath that we all share. Also, I want to heal my lungs a bit because I'm pretty congested in there too. I smudge my heart so I can be kind and compassionate and show unconditional love to all those around me, to my family, to my friends, to myself, and all my relations, which means everything and everyone around us in the world. That's the earth, the air, the plants, the animals, the wind, the stones, everything around us is all my relations. I smudge my stomach so all of the food that I eat this day will nourish my body. Excited for leftovers for dinner tonight. Yay! I smudge my belly button because that's where we're connected before we come into this world. So that's our spirit, so that I can listen to my spirit more clearly and honor my intuition and trust it a little bit better. And then smudge my womanhood. I'm very thankful to be a woman and a mother in this time. I'm also a two-spirit woman, so I do carry that masculine and feminine energy within me when I'm in ceremony or at certain times. But I think it's really important just to acknowledge, our entire being. I smudge my back and my shoulders so I can carry all of my responsibilities in a good way, with strength and with humility and courage. I smudge my arms and my hands so I can do the good work that I've been put here to do. I smudge my legs so I walk the red road in a good way, so I honor the path that I'm upon, and so my path is of humility and gentleness on this earth. I smudge my feet so I stay grounded and connected to Mother Earth, walking lightly upon her and honoring her with every step. And if there's anywhere else in your body you need a little extra love, so again, my lungs, my throat, and my nose because I'm a little congested, but also my hips. After the multiple hip surgeries, of course, I'm having some issues. But on the plus side, my ankle is just about 100% healed, so that's fantastic. And I'm just really thankful for our bodies because they are amazing recovery machines if we allow them to be. And then if there's anyone else in your life that you want to send some healing to, you can hold them in your life, in your heart, and send them that love, send them that healing. Maybe you just miss them, you can send them that too. And that can be any sort of healing, physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual. And then when you're all done, you just say thank you in your language. So I would say hi or miigwech or marcy, because that's thank you in my languages. And so I'm going to share a drum song, I think. Yeah, I was thinking a lot about the Four Directions song because I haven't sung it in a bit. And so this is Wende Aho. I learned it as the Four Directions song. So it's really about honoring all of those four directions, the winds, because in it I hear the four winds, and yeah, just how it balances us and how it guides us in a good way. So this is Wende Aho. It can be found on YouTube. Robbie Robertson and Ulali do it. And Ulali is incredible. They have the most amazing harmonies. Definitely, if you want to fall into a rabbit hole of good music, you can look up Ulali. And this is Wende Aho. It's also known as the Cherokee Morning Song. Wende Aho, Wende Aho, Wende Aho, Wende Aho, oh, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. Wende Aho, Wende Aho, Wende Aho, Wende Aho. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Wende Aho, Wende Aho, Wende Aho, Wende Aho. Okay. Wende Aho, Wende Aho. Oh, 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 yeah, 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 time change, it really messes with me. Also, I was staying up way too late making way too many drums on the weekend. So, yeah, but I'm very thankful to be able to make drums. And I am having a drum workshop at the end of the month. So if you're interested in making one of your own, this is my son's. I had to fix it. So I found his old hide and I was like, oh, awesome. Now I can fix my son's drum because I left my drum at a school because I had been there doing a residency. But yeah, we use 4 different animals, deer, elk, moose, and buffalo, one for each direction of the medicine wheel, which I go really in depth about. And so, yeah. And I'm also doing a dream catcher workshop next weekend. So if anybody would like to make a dream catcher, I know oftentimes people are like, oh, we've made a dream catcher. I share the story behind it. Maybe I should just share the story now. Because I think sometimes we fall into that trap of, cultural appropriation when it comes to dream catchers. Because we don't know the whole story, right? And we're like, oh, it catches dreams. Yeah, it catches dreams, but it's a lot more than that. And so I kind of give an abridged version because the story is actually like 40 minutes long. No, I'm just kidding. It's like an hour. Just kidding. But a long time ago, there were a band of Anishinaabe and Lakota people because the dream catcher is Anishinaabe and Lakota. And they were, living, but it was really difficult because they were not eating very much. There's a big famine. Because any one time they moved somewhere, it seemed like everything around them was chased away or would die. And the reason was there was a little boy, and he lived with his nokomis, his grandmother, and he would have the worst nightmares. He would scream and scream and scream, cry and cry and cry, and keep his whole nation up. But not only that, because of his blood-curdling screams, he would chase away animals for miles and miles and miles around, and even plants and animals. The plants need to rest too. And so all of the plants started shriveling up and dying because they weren't resting throughout the night either. So it didn't matter where they moved to. The same situation kept happening over and over and over again. And every day, Nokomis would take her grandson walking, and they would go further and further and further out, hoping that maybe, just maybe, he would actually sleep through the night if he got enough fresh air poisoning or enough outdoor time. And it didn't matter how far they would walk. Every time they got back at night, he would always scream and scream and scream and cry and cry and cry. And then she took a different path one day, and she ended up in a clearing. And in the corner of the clearing in the morning, light, there was a beautiful jeweled spider web, and in it all of the dew almost looked like glittering diamonds, glittering gems in the sun. And as she got closer, she saw that big beautiful spider in the center, and her grandson, who was hangry because of course you don't sleep and you're not eating very much, you get pretty hangry. He went to kill the spider with his moccasin, and Nokoma said, no, grandson, you can't kill that spider. It's a sacred being. And the spider, who was so thankful for Nokoma saving its life, decided to gift many teachings and send Nokomis on a quest to meet other animals who would share teachings with her. And so he shared, the spider, Ektome, shared the teachings of the webbing and how we're a single strand in the web of life. She shared the teachings of the hoop and how to weave it together. And this is just, again, like a really compressed version of the story. And then she taught her how to go on a little bit of adventure. And so she went to the east with the morning light and learned from a hawk. Then she went to the south and learned from the raven, and then she went to the west and she learned from the owl as the sun was setting and it was the evening. And then the next day she went to the north and learned more teachings from the eagle. And as she returned back to Ektome, the spider, Ektome taught her how to finish that beautiful dream catcher that carries actually all of the teachings of the Anishinaabe and Lakota people. All of our ceremonies are held within the dream catcher, and so it's not just to catch dreams. It holds all of our ceremonies, holds all of our teachings and our way of looking at the world and our way of life. And so when Nokomis brought that beautiful dream catcher back with her grandson, she hung it in his teepee above his bed, and for the first time ever, he slept. And he slept so soundly that, and he never had a nightmare again. Again, that's the abridged version. The story is much, much longer, and it has many more teachings in it. But it's important. It's important to know kind of the whole story behind something. This is why I think story is so important, and it connects us in such a beautiful way, because it's part of us. It's what makes us, listen to each other, listen to our ancestors. It's what teaches us. The reason we share so many stories with young ones is because it teaches them something. And so, I'm going to share The what song? I'm going to share an Anishinaabe song. I'm going to probably share the Thunderbird song, because a lot of the Thunderbird teachings are within the webbing as well. It teaches us that everything happens for a reason and to always move forward. And if the same thing keeps happening over and over and over again, we might just be on the wrong path. And so I'm going to sing the Thunderbird song. And then I'm going to share the story of the bear, because I love the bear story. And this is Anishinaabe. I learned it from Sharon Prue Turner, as well as Elder Carrie Moore. A few different elders, actually. And I remember hearing it growing up. Kichima peso, mani tu kichiwai no. Wea heya heya yo. Wea heya heya yo. We hai we yo. Kichima peso, mani tu kichiwai no. Wea heya heya yo. Wea heya heya yo. We hai we yo. Kichima peso, mani tu kichiwai no. Wea heya heya yo. Wea heya heya yo. We hai we yo. Kichima peso, mani tu kichiwai no. Wea heya heya yo. Wea heya heya yo. We hai we yo. Awesome. Yeah, so the bear story and the bear song. And so this is one of the newer bear stories that I learned, which I just really love, because it was heard it as something very, very small, but then I was told fill in the details. That's what story it is. It's filling in the details. And so, yeah, a long time ago, when Creator was giving out the teachings to the 7 different sacred animals, he of course gifted Sabe honesty, because Sabe helps us to face those parts of ourselves to keep us honest. He gifted the turtle truth, because the turtle carries the truth of the moon and also the truth of the earth on her back, and the teachings of life. And then he gave respect to the buffalo, because the buffalo respects and honors the earth. He teaches us how to honor and respect the earth by where it walks, and it doesn't trample plants or animals or bugs. It always looks down, and it always leaves the roots of a plant in the ground and reminds us to give back and only take what we need. So that's a huge teaching of the buffalo. He gave the beaver wisdom, because the beaver is one of the smartest animals anybody knows. She builds incredible things, but also does it for a purpose. And so of course she got wisdom. All of the animals always go to her for advice. The wolf got humility, to remind it that it was part of a whole, and those packs were always really, really connected to each other. And then when it came to the bear stepped up, and he was so excited to learn his different teachings. McGeezy flew away with love. McGeezy is the eagle, flew away with love. And so he's like, oh, everybody has such amazing gifts. Look at these, like love and humility and truth and honesty and courage. Oh, wait, one's missing. And so he went and said, Creator, what's my gift? And Creator said, Bear, your gift is courage. And the bear looked at him and said, courage? Well, what does that even mean? And the Creator explained, well, courage is like being proud of who you are, but, not being afraid of who you are, not being afraid to help out, stepping up and doing the right thing in your community. So the bear said, so courage is helping? And the Creator said, yeah, kind of. Courage, I guess, is helping, and it's standing up for what's right. And the bear said, okay, courage is helping. I can help. I can do that. And so he went and he looked for someone to help. The first person he came across was the beaver. And the beaver, even though she represents wisdom, and even though she has so much knowledge, sometimes even she makes mistakes, because that's the best way to learn. And she had cut down a tree that was just too large for her. You could say that she bit off a little more than she could chew. And she was trying to push it into the river, but it was just too big for her. And so he thought, oh, the tree's really big. I'm really strong. I can help. And so he went to the beaver and he said, Beaver, can I help you push that tree? I'm really big and strong. I can probably get into the river easily for you. And the beaver said, oh, Bear, that would be wonderful. Thank you. And very easily, the bear pushed the tree into the river. And the beautiful beaver said, wow, thank you so much, Bear. You really used your strength, and I really appreciate you. And the bear said, you're welcome, and continued on his path. And then as the bear was walking, he found a beautiful mole. And the mole had been digging a wonderful tunnel, but then came into some really solid earth. It was really, really hard and compacted, and no matter how hard the mole was digging into it, she was barely making any progress. She was sweating, she was exhausted, and her little paws were so sore, and her little claws were trying to dig, but it was just too much for her. And the bear looked at its own paws and claws, and he said, well, my paws are huge, and my claws are huge. I can help. And so he went to the mole and he said, Mole, my paws and claws are very, very sharp and very, very big. Can I help you with that little patch of earth? And the mole, who was sweating, and she said, oh, Bear, that would be great. Thank you. And the bear dug very easily into the earth, and the mole was able to continue her path. And she said, wow, Bear, thank you so much for that very wonderful use of your claws and paws. I really appreciate it. And the bear said, you're welcome. And the bear continued walking on his path and found a squirrel. Now the squirrel was looking really sad, even though it was surrounded by an abundance of food, which confused the bear. And the bear thought, well, maybe there's a problem. And so the bear said, hey, squirrel, I've noticed you're looking a little sad, but you're surrounded by all of these wonderful things, these dried fruits and berries and nuts and all of your favorite things. And the squirrel said, yes, Bear, but this isn't just for me. This is for my family. And we all live up in that big tree. But the moment I leave any of this behind, well, those magpies over there will come and steal it for their own. And the bear looked around and he saw the magpies waiting and chuckling in the background, waiting for him to leave. And well, Bear said, I'll help you. My arms are really big. I can probably hold all of this abundance, and I'm very tall. I can probably reach up into the tree and put all of these nuts and berries and fruit and all of your other snacks into the tree. And the squirrel said, wow, Bear, that would be amazing. And the bear said, let me try. And so he gathered up all of the food, and even the squirrel climbed on the bear's shoulder, and he reached up and he dumped all of the food into the tree. And the squirrel was so thankful. Wow, Bear, look at you, used your amazing ability to be able to help, and now my family's going to have food for the year. Thank you so much. And the bear said, you're welcome. And the bear continued on his path, trying to help as many animals as he could. Well, the more he helped, the more they started to ask for more help, until finally he was starting to get really tired because animals started asking for help even if they didn't need it. The raccoon, who was feeling a little lazy, said, hey, Bear, can you just lift me into that tree over there? I mean, it's not that far for you, but it's pretty far for me. And the bear said, okay, lifted him up, and the raccoon said, thanks, Bear. And the bear said, you're welcome. And continued. And then he saw the little mouse, and the mouse said, hey, Bear, can you do me a favor? And the bear said, yes, I'd love to help. And he said, can you carry me to the other side of the forest? And the bear was confused. He said, okay. Picked up the mouse. They walked all the way out to the other side of the forest. The mouse looked around and said, yeah, I guess it's just like our side of the forest. Okay, Bear, take me home. And the bear said, okay, and walked all the way home. And then she said, okay, cool, thanks, Bear. And the bear said, you're welcome. And so many more animals were doing things that it didn't really matter. And so finally, the bear was just starting to get so exhausted from doing everybody's work and helping everybody out. And he just yawned, and the seasons were changing. It was getting colder, the leaves were changing, and the bear started to hear a rumble in his tummy. And he thought, well, maybe if I eat some snacks, I'll be able to help more. And so he started eating. And he started eating. He started eating. And he ate more. And he started eating more until he was so full. Like the kind of full that you get in Thanksgiving, but worse. And so the fullness made him so tired. And he thought, well, I had such a big snack. Maybe I should have a little nap. And so he went over to his bear den, and he fell fast asleep. Well, everyone was wondering where the bear was because he hadn't seen him in a couple of days. And they were asking for help. Bear, where are you? I need a hand over here. Hey, Bear, can you help me out? Bear! Bear? We need some help. Bear! But no matter where they looked, they couldn't find him. So they all went to the beaver, of course, the smartest animal they knew. And they said, Beaver, we haven't seen the bear anywhere, and it's been like 3 days. And the beaver said, well, maybe he's resting. Let's go check on him in his den. And so they all went to check on him just to make sure he was all right. And the bear was fast asleep. And so they all said, Bear, wake up. But he didn't wake up. And then they got louder. Bear, wake up. But he didn't wake up. And so all together they yelled, Bear, wake up. But he didn't wake up. They thought, oh no. And, well, the beaver said, let me give him a shake. And so she shook him a little. Bear, wake up. But he didn't wake up. And so she shook him a bit more. Bear, wake up. But he didn't wake up. And then she shook him hard. Bear, wake up. But he didn't wake up. Oh, all of the animals started to worry. And the mouse said, well, let me check his breathing. And so the mouse went right under his nose. And his breathing was so slow. And the mouse said, oh no, I think the bear is sick. And the squirrel said, well, let me listen to his heart. And the squirrel put her head against his chest and listened. But his heartbeat was so slow. And he said, oh, I think the bear is dying. And all of his friends were so upset. Oh no, we asked for too much help even when he didn't need it. Now he killed the bear. What are we going to do? And the beaver, being the wise one, said, well, maybe we should just let the bear rest for a while and see what happens. And all of the friends agreed. And every day they missed him, they were leaving snacks outside of his den. Things like berries or fruit or salmon, one of his favorite things, or even honeycomb, his very favorite things. But even though all of those snacks were outside of his den, they kept checking and none of them were touched. The snow fell and the seasons changed and it was so cold. And all of the animals were convinced that the bear had died. And so they went about their business, very sad for the loss of their beautiful friend. And they went back to normal. And then the spring started to come, the winds started to change, everything started to melt. And as there was a crackling in the earth, a crackling in the ice as it was melting, and it started waking up all of the plants. As the plants started to wake up, they started to grow, and all of the animals started to see all of the green started to spring up. And the beautiful crocus opened up as that first sign of spring, and oh, it smelled so good. That big sweet smell on the breeze wafted right into the bear's den, and his little nose started wiggling, and oh, what is that wonderful smell? And then he thought, oh, it smells kind of like a crocus. Wait a second, what is that sound? Crackling ice? Is the ice melting already? Oh, it's just the fall. And wait a second, why is everybody making so much noise? They only make this much noise in the springtime, and how long did I sleep for? And so he walked outside of his den, and he looked around, and sure enough, there was snow on the ground that was melting. But there was a whole bunch of snacks, and so he started eating the snacks. Salmon, thanks, Fred, and berries, and oh, my favorite. There was, oh, this big, huge chunk of honeycomb, and he started eating it. This is the best. And Fred, what season is it? And all of the animals turned and they saw the bear and they said, Bear, you're alive! It's a miracle! He said, of course I'm alive, friends. I was just having a nap. But seriously, what season is it? And they said, Bear, it's the springtime. You slept through all of the winter. We thought you were dead. He's like, I'm not dead. I was just really tired from helping everybody else out. But I feel really great now. Does anybody need any help? And all the animals were like, no, 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 no. Bear, we don't want to kill you again by asking for help. And the bear said, I didn't die. I just needed a nap. But I love to help friends. And so, please, feel free to ask me for help anytime you actually need it. But if you don't really need help, don't ask. If you can do it yourself, you can do it yourself. And they said, you're right, Bear. We're so sorry for taking advantage of you. And the bear said, that's okay, friends. And then he said, but I think every fall I'm going to eat a really big snack and then go to bed for a really long winter nap. And from that day forth, the bear continues to hibernate. And that is the bear story. And now we're going to share the bear song. Hey. I love that story. It's so cute. And so the bear song is an Anishinaabe song. It's done in a few different ways, so I do it more like the community and kids way. Sometimes I do it as call and response to teach kids about it. But some of the songs, some of the words in the song, one is Manitu, which means spirit or spirit of or great spirit. The next one is Makwa, which means bear. And so when we sing it, it's for the spirit of the bear. And Anishinaabe, that's me. It means people of the land. And so I'm very thankful. So this song is online. I also learned it from a few different elders. Olive Manitopus, before she passed, shared quite a few songs, and I'm really thankful that I got to go over there a few times for tea and learn. Same with Sharon Pooh Turner. I'm really thankful for her. And of course, Carrie Moore, who carried those songs on as well. And so this is the bear song, the Anishinaabe bear song. I think I'm going to share the laughing song. For some reason, it just came in my head. This is from the, I believe, the Odamin Quay Singers. Out of Edmonton. I think some of them are from Enoch, I believe, and Musquechies. And so this is a Cree song. It's also called the Happy Song, because it teaches us not to take ourselves too seriously, to actually like laugh it off. It's okay to, you know, be happy, to be able to share good things in a good way, but also it's important to laugh. It's important to let those things go and let go of any of those stresses, because it's important to only focus on the things you can change. Don't worry about the things that you can't. Just let, you know, the universe unfold the way it is. But also, don't take yourself too seriously, because life is too short for that. So this is the laughing song. Right, it starts here. Way-hi-yo, way-hi-hi-yo, way-ho, way-ho, my-yo, way-ho, 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 way-hi-yo, way-hi-hi-yo, way-ho, way-ho, And so, pardon me, I'm going to share another song that popped into my noggin. This is the water song. I need some water some tea beforehand, just because it does take a lot out of my voice, but also when I'm not well, it takes a little bit more. So, but the water song teaches us to honor the water, to honor the rain, to honor the river, to honor the ocean, and the water that runs through our veins, because of course you need water to survive. So it teaches us to really honor that connection that we have to each other as well, because our emotions are water, or liquid, and our connection to Grandmother Moon, because she pushes those tides in and out. She controls the waters, and that reminder of that cleansing that women go through every month, but also that connection that we have to each other. When we cry, it's cleansing. It's our way of releasing those emotions and feeling better and honoring our emotions. So that's really all of the wonderful things that this song honors. And so, this is the water song. Again, it's one of these tapping ones, and then there. And so, here we go. We're going to start slow, and then we're going to get faster and faster and faster and faster, and then we're going to get slow at the end again. Because that's kind of what a storm does, or what the ocean does, or what a river does. Oops, that's too fast. Wishita do ya, do ya, do ya. Wishita do ya day. Wishita do ya, do ya, do ya. Wishita do ya day. Wishita do ya, do ya, do ya. Wishita do ya day. Wishita do ya, do ya, do ya. Wishita do ya day. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey. Wishita do ya, do ya, do ya. Wishita do ya day. Wishita do ya, do ya, do ya. Wishita do ya day. Wishita do ya, do ya, do ya. Wishita do ya day. Wishita do ya. Wishita do ya day. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey. Wishita do ya, do ya, do ya. Wishita do ya day. Wishita do ya, do ya. Wishita do ya day. Wishita do ya. Wishita do ya day. Wishita do ya. Wishita do ya day. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey. Wishita do ya. Wichita do ya day. Wichita do ya. Wichita do ya day. Wichita do ya day. Wichita do ya day. Wichita do ya. Wichita do ya day. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatneya, hey ya, hey. 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 Switch, wichita do ya. Wichita do ya day. Wichita do ya. Wichita do ya day. Wishita do ya. Wishita do ya day. Wishita do ya. Wishita do ya day. And now you know this song. And so the last song I'm going to share is kind of a journey song. This is a journey song. This is literally called Journey, and I wrote it while I was in I was in the hospital. I was doing an Indigenous National Indigenous Day event, sharing in the hospital, and one of this other artists didn't show up, and so I had to fill time. I had to fill an extra hour, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna just let whatever comes out of me comes out of me. And sometimes when I'm trying to remember a song, and that song doesn't come, it's because there's another one that's meant to be shared. And so, yeah, this is the Journey song. Sakahito into your family. Sakahito into your friends. Sakahito into your journey until we meet again. Hey, 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 oh. Hey, hey, oh. Hey, hey, oh. Sakahito into my family. Sakahito into my friends. Sakahito into my journey until we meet again. Hey, hey, oh. Hey, hey, oh. Sakatito into the journey. Sakahito into their friends. Sakahito into our families until we meet again. Hey, hey, oh. Hey, hey, oh. Sakahito into our journey. Sakahito into our friends. Sakahito into our families until we meet again. Hey, hey, oh. Hey, hey, Sakahito into my family. Sakahito into my friends. Sakahito into my journey until we meet again. Until we meet again. Awesome. Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, hi, McWitch, Marcy, and Blackfoot. Yeah, I just really appreciate it, and I'm glad I made it all the way through. But again, I'm probably going to change it up so that I start at 7:30 until 8:30, because that seems to be the way. And so, sending all my love. I hope everyone has a beautiful week. If you're in Wilkinstas, enjoy the Chinook while it lasts. I thought the bear was getting pretty fat close to the end of December, so we're in for a nice long winter. So, which everyone have a beautiful day, have a beautiful week, and Sucky hit the win. Love you guys. Bye.